so glad you could come along.
I put a spell on you.
8, 5, 3.
Grid is live. Initiate light cycle battle.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
For a safe trip, remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the cabin. Be sure to watch your children, and no smoking, please.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pirates and Princesses. This is Tom. I am here with Cam.
Hello.
And it is time for more Disney and Universal theme park news. So boy.
And yeah,
oh boy.
There's a bunch of stuff. So today we're going to talk about a couple things, like some stuff with Disney Plus, some stuff with, Disney trying to make their streaming service more like Tubi. We're going to talk about Gina Carano and the lawsuit with Disney, Disneyland Forward, about stuff at Disney World, different reveals, Epic Universe, stinking smells at Disney, etc.
Stinking smells at Disney.
Yeah.
Stinking
smells.
Stinking smells at Disney. So let's talk about all this, guys. Where are we going to start? What's going to be the headline here?
Our headline is going to be what stinks at Disney, but
is that what we're going to call
it?
Disney?
We're going to end with the stinkiness. We're going to start with Disney Plus. So Disney Plus has just announced that they are going to put a remastered 1970 Let It Be Beatles documentary up on May, I want to say 8th. Let me look and see. It's 8th or 9th. May 8th.
Well, look, they've been having a lot of success. They had Taylor Swift, and didn't they have BTS on there too? They
did. Now they had another docuseries they had done with Peter Jackson that was a different Beatles one. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Get Back. Beatles Get Back was the one they had on before. Now what this one is, it was a 1970 documentary.
Yeah.
And it was done by Michael Lindsay Hogg.
Okay.
And he's still alive.
Okay.
And I guess he worked with Peter Jackson's company again, and they were able to do some, remastering of this footage from this documentary, and then go ahead. They're going to put it out and re-release it onto Disney Plus.
It's weird though, because a lot of what Disney is banking on to save Disney Plus is not Disney content. Like it's you know what I'm saying? Like they're betting on Taylor Swift, they're betting on getting the rights to this or getting the rights to that or whatever, and it's like. Or you could just make good Disney content and put that on Disney Plus, but whatever. Whatever.
But you're gonna need more than just that. Or they could release The Vault, which is said they were gonna do, and then they didn't do.
That would be a brave. Celebrate Tiana's Tiana. That's a
That's
Star.
Keanu and Tiana.
That is a Star Wars character. Celebrate Tiana's Bayou adventure by releasing Song of the South.
I will not do that. But they can release the other catalog piece. Like they said they were going to release all of it, and then they didn't do it. Like that's why people subscribed, which we're going to talk about how that ties in Verizon here shortly. But they're going to do this special, and I guess it was out on video in 1980, but it hasn't been brought out since then. So it's something that most people haven't seen.
I vaguely remember it. Now, my mom used to work in a record store. Back in the day, but it seems vaguely familiar because she had a lot of Beatles stuff.
Well, apparently this was it was like filmed in 1969 before they broke up.
Yeah,
when their final record.
Well, I know how it ties into Disney because they broke up at the Polynesian.
There you go.
No, literally.
You gotta tell the story.
That is apparently they broke up. They signed the paperwork, or John Lennon did at the Polynesian. He was there for Christmas, I think. I don't know what year it was. I'm sure we've got Beatle historians listening to it. But yeah, they broke up at the Polynesian.
So this is Christmas. So what have you done? He spent a lot of money at a Disney hotel.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So that's coming for all the Beatles fans out there. That's one little bit of news that we have about Disney Plus. Another bit about Disney Plus is, a couple things. One, Disney is now trying to put, I guess they're going to put like tabs. How do you explain this? You explain it a little better. Like, think of Tubi.
Yeah, so they're going to have 24/7, basically cable channels on Disney Plus. That's what's being rumored. And if you use Tubi or you use Roku or Pluto's another one, they basically have TV channels over the internet. That's what they are.
But they might like focus on one show or a type of show.
Right.
So they could run like Disney Channel originals or like Marvel or Star Wars or something like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they're looking at doing. They're talking about doing, Marvel and Star Wars channels and adding those to Disney Plus. I would love to see them give us retro Disney Channel.
I was thinking like that or Disney Afternoon.
Something like that. I could see it. That's what Toon Disney basically was. It was like I could see them bringing them. It'd be funny if they brought back like Toon Disney, Jetix, all these other.
Well, I was thinking maybe in the early, like in the 80s when they had like all the 80s shows, like
Pooh Corner
and stuff.
Yeah.
They could do
Mouser Size.
And it's interesting because there's a studies being done that they're saying a lot of Gen Z and even Gen Alpha are tending to watch, and some millennials, I guess they're saying, are tending to watch the older shows over new material. So the ones that were popular because they were pop culture phenomenons, and they were just really good shows, that's why they made it back in the day, are more intriguing to these people than the new stuff that's being put out.
Yeah.
We have more offers than ever, but they want to watch the older stuff. So they could cash in on that and like do like Disney Afternoon or run like some of their old shows that were popular on different channels. If it's true, it's just a rumor for now.
Yeah, it's just a rumor, but I think it's pretty valid. It comes from The Information, which is a tech blog, and they're right about 90% of the time. So I could see Disney doing it. They're scrambling, trying to get more revenue in. If you had TV channels that people would leave on and the ads would just run in the background all the time, that's more revenue. That's how you keep people there. They're looking for engagement because currently they're saying that people come in, they watch what they want to watch on Disney Plus, and then they leave and they go someplace else. Well, they don't want them going anyplace else. They want them staying on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they're trying to do. This also goes a little bit with this next thing. So now on top of this, Verizon is said to be giving 6 months of free Disney Plus, Disney streaming bundle. The bundle with like, was it Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus?
Yeah.
They're going to be giving this out to customers, to the unlimited customers. So they said that they're going to be giving 6 months of Disney bundle featuring Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN to limited customers. The Hollywood Reporter said the deal will give new and current Verizon customers 6 free months of the bundle when switching to the plans, and after that, it will cost $10 per month, $150 savings annually. However, Verizon's already been letting people buy the bundle for $10 a month, $5 off. So it's not really making much of a difference other than it's like, I think it's enticing people to do this. So they subscribe to Verizon, they also subscribe to Disney. And I think it's funny because if you look at 6 months out from now, that's going to put us past the end of the fiscal year 2024.
Yeah.
Just past it. And it's interesting because Disney said they were going to hit their subscriber numbers and they were going to be profitable in streaming by the end of this fiscal year. I just thought this was interesting. I think we're going to probably see other deals like this appear as they're desperately trying to get subscribers. So if they have more subscribers, they can sell more ads to the advertisers, which brings in money to bring it to profitability. And it just happens to end right when the quarter is going to be over.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I mean, it is. But yeah.
Even Hollywood Reporter said they've done this before. They said Verizon has been particularly aggressive about this its plan to bundle streaming services in a bid to lock in customers and has partnered with Disney before. Most notably, Verizon was a launch partner of Disney Plus, giving many of its customers one free year of the service and helping Disney Plus gain substantial market shares early on. So we know they do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, oh, hey, there's a deal, $2 for 3 months. That just happens to be the 3 months, ends at the end of the quarter. We see this often.
Yeah. And look, they're desperately trying to prove that their plan's going to work because they sunk everything into Disney Plus, and we're coming up on D-Day now, and they're like, okay, guys.
2024, profitability.
Profitability. And I don't see how they're going to do it. And that probably goes along with why they're doing the channels, too, to try to bring in as much money as they can.
I think so, because this happens to end, and then just go back to paying what they're already charging people right after the end of fiscal year 2024. And like I said, they need the numbers to apply to, like, more numbers you have, the more subscribers you have, the better advertising dollars, the more advertising dollars you can get. If you have more people, you can demand more money. I think it's the whole thing to try to up the bottom line ahead of the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
But the good news is, if you're a Verizon customer, 6 free months,
6 free months. There you go, guys. So yeah, I don't know. I hope for their sake that they don't have another proxy battle next year, because it seems like every year, they can get themselves into this if they don't perform, and if they miss the mark this year, it might be a case.
I think they're aware.
Yeah.
I think they're very aware. So that was that. We're going to talk to you about the big situation with Gina Carano.
Yeah, so Gina Carano, for those of you living under a rock, she was in The Mandalorian.
Cara Dune.
She played Cara Dune. She was fired for tweets, basically, and she was fired over tweets. And Disney, I believe, misrepresented what she said. Some people at Lucasfilm really didn't like her because of her politics. And now she's suing Disney with the help of Elon Musk, who also has a beef with Disney. And so they're attempting to get her lawsuit dismissed. She said they defamed her and they made it hard for her to get more work, and they basically called her a Nazi and a white supremacist publicly.
Well, they said she was abhorrent. Because she was because what she said basically was, I don't know if I have the exact quote on front of me, but she was saying that when the issues happened in Nazi Germany, that neighbors turned against each other. They were beating people in the streets, but they had to first turn to get to that point. You had to first turn people against each other, and I think that the political polarization and discourse in our country is quickly turning people against each other. And she didn't say what political side. She's just saying it's concerning because I think this could happen again with all this, and we have to not become what happened then.
Right.
So they fired her. They didn't even let her know. They put it on a post on social media. Yeah,
it's how she found out she was fired. She found out from social media that she was fired.
Yeah. So she wants, basically to come back to Cara Dune, which they might not even do that anymore. They've obviously moved on from projects.
Yeah.
She wanted, I think she wants, payment for that. She said it caused her a lot of damage for her career, or that kind of stuff. So people are bringing up, though, that like Pedro Pascal, who plays, Mando in The Mandalorian, has also put up political pictures before. He had one that had the Confederate flag and the Nazi flag and then the MAGA hat, and then was comparing them all to being losers in different years. He had another one where it was in 2018 where we had the whole issue with the kids in the cages, in quotes. And then he put a picture of that up, and he put a picture up of people in cages in Nazi Germany. So he's done this before, but he was not fired over it. So now Disney wants to dismiss it. So they actually put the statement out saying that Carano's social media usage sunk to its nadir on February 10th, 2021. On that day, she reposted an Instagram post from a user, names who it is. The post read, Jews are beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to a point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first had to make their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? I mean, it's a little bit different, but the idea is we're getting to a place where people are so polarized, they literally hate somebody for a reason like that. And then they said, Disney had enough. The same day Carano grotesquely trivialized the Holocaust as comparable to sharp political disagreements, Lucasfilm announced that she was not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrated people based on their culture and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable, which that's why she's suing them, that statement. They said that, it didn't align with their values and they want it dismissed. Ironically, in January of this year, there was an article in National Geographic, and they were talking about neighbors of Jewish people in the Nazi Germany times. Were encouraged to, report, narc on their neighbors and take their stuff, which is kind of what she was saying. Thing is, National Geographic is owned by Disney. The majority of it is owned by Disney.
Yeah,
so I was like, wait a minute.
They're trying to, but I think she has a case because, look, they're trying to say, well, it was their First Amendment right. They can fire whoever they want to. I'm like, yeah, but you also basically nuked the bridge for her to be able to work anyplace else by doing it the way that they did it and making a big deal out of it. And Elon Musk is going to back her up because he's got a beef with Bob Iger, but he also said that he was going to pay for legal fees for anyone who was wrongfully fired on Twitter. So
Disney, when they were trying to get dismissed, they said that that they were, what they said, but how they put it, she grotesquely trivialized the Holocaust.
Trivialized the Holocaust, yeah.
I once it tossed because she just trivialized the Holocaust. And Gina Carano said that Disney has confirmed, we know all along, they will fire you if you say anything they disagree with, even if they have to misrepresent, malign, and mischaracterize you to do it. They're now on record letting everyone who works for them know that Disney will take any chance they get to control what you say, what you think, or they will attempt to destroy your career. Glad we cleared that up. So they're claiming their First Amendment rights allow them to fire her. But I think it's funny because what they're arguing because of what she said and politicizing it and the things that comments that she made, and they shouldn't be using that. But then National Geographic kind of did something similar, and then meanwhile, what they're arguing she did, there's actually evidence Pedro Pascal did, and he never got fired for it. But he did take the post down.
Yeah. Now, weirdly, they're still friends. Like, yeah. I mean, it's amazing in the real world. You actually can be friends with people you don't completely agree with, And it used to be you never really talked about politics, but now it's all anybody talks about.
I know it is ridiculous, and that's her point. I've seen so much polarization and so many people like turning on family and friends, and I've seen concerted efforts by people to label others as being quote unquote Nazis for stupid things like not liking a cartoon. I mean, literally everyone who doesn't agree with you they get labeled as such. I mean, the word's already been trivialized anyway, which I think is a travesty. I think it's horrible and it's disrespectful to those who actually were, brutalized by legitimate Nazis. And people are just being so polarized against each other. It's not hard to consider that people might start behaving in that kind of way. We've seen it before, over politics. And, not saying which side does which, or one side that I think it gets across the board on any extreme. And that's what she was saying. And she's not completely wrong. I've seen other Hollywood celebrities make similar comments, but that was okay when they said it. Yeah. It's just when she said it that it's a problem. So that's going on. She's trying to sue Disney. Disney's trying to get dismissed. At this point in time, it hasn't been dismissed. I don't know what's going on with it, but that's that update on that situation. Over at Disneyland, an update over there is we have the Disneyland expansion project, Disneyland Forward. We are waiting to see. They cannot expand until it goes through approval. We have different levels of approval leading up to this point, and today they're going to go to a meeting with Anaheim Council for a vote to see if they're going to allow them to move forward. The company wants to spend $1.9 billion to develop the property over the next 10 years. It includes $40 million to buy streets from the city of Anaheim, including Hotel Way, Clementine Street, and Magic Way. So they have to wait and see if they get approval to move to the next step. Yeah, they've been itching. Disney's been itching to grow Disneyland for a while now. I mean, they've talked about it before. They actually had to scale back their plans for California Adventure. It was going to be Westcott originally. It was going to be another version of Epcot. But now the story I heard, and I'm sure people can or will correct me on this one, but I heard that people living nearby had an issue with their version of Spaceship Earth. They thought it was going to be too obnoxious and too bright because everything's flat. For the Westcott, for California. So that's kind of what. Plus, I think it's just the expense because California Adventure was budget cut. But yeah, they keep trying to grow Disneyland, and they really can't. They're kind of landlocked at this point. So. Yeah, and they want to take some of the one parking lot and use it. They have to use what space they have. Now, by the time this airs tomorrow, they probably have already reached an agreement, so you might want to look into that or they see if it moves forward or not. But at this point in time, the voting on it is today, I believe. So you want to keep an eye on that. We're going to talk. Then we're going to jump over to Walt Disney World, and we talked about Epic Universe coming. Mm-hmm. And how, we're waiting to see about these expansions. So we have the first expansion, which was Disneyland Forward. They've been trying to get that through for a long time. This goes back to what we talked about before with why the Reedy Creek Improvement District was so important, because Disney could move things through very quickly. Yeah. Well, I think one of the reasons we're not hearing many announcements about Walt Disney World is because now there's extra steps with the new district that they were in a lawsuit with, and they're trying to resolve that. But I thought it was interesting because during the annual shareholder meeting, Bob Iger got cornered and he was asked about Epic Universe coming and how Disney's not doing anything. And he's like, well, that couldn't be further from the truth. We talked about this in another podcast.
Right.
About how, oh no, we've known about this for years. We've been making steps to ahead of time, knowing it was coming. Okay. So now a Disney spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal that the Epic Universe is Universal playing catch up for a decade of nonstop development at Walt Disney World. So I'm confused. Is Epic Universe Universal playing catch up for what happened at Disney World, or is what happened at Disney World in response to Epic Universe? It really can't be both.
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused by this too. It seems like, I don't know, because Epic Universe, I mean, they would have been thinking about this one years ago anyway.
Yeah, but they're saying that they knew about it. They heard about it, 10 years ago. And so they started doing these expansions at Walt Disney World, which I want to point out might have opened in the last 10 years, but they were in development way before 10 years ago.
The expansions at Walt Disney World were to compete with Harry Potter. That because Universal, like Harry Potter ate Disney's lunch. Disney had a chance to have Harry Potter, but they wanted to do it their way, and J.K. Rowling said no. And thankfully, Universal got hold of it because it's probably the best immersive movie experience ever done in a theme park. But that just like blew up for Universal. They were always kind of like, and also ran like, oh, if we have an extra day, we'll go over to Universal. Now people are planning entire trips around Universal.
They're saying, I actually have something like that about this. They're saying that they think that Epic Universe is going to take a hunk. Like I don't have it in front of me, but they said that I think it's going to estimate to take a bit out of it, like $1 million or something initially. And I think a lot of the audiences are going to be going over to there.
Yeah, people.
1 million visitors. It says Walt Disney World attendance could be reduced by 1 million visitors within 2 years.
Well, look at what the most visited theme parks were. You start looking at, and then you look at the highest rate. Well, one, Islands of Adventure almost always winds up being the best rated theme park, hands down. But then also the attendance, the Universal parks are creeping up there, and sometimes they've actually surpassed Disney's parks.
Well, they've been asking people about where they're going next year, and a lot of people who go annually that even have DVCs are talking about how they're going to spend more time at Universal than they're planning on spending at Walt Disney World.
Yeah,
because Epic Universe is opening next year.
And even what they have right now, I mean, they've completely transformed that park. And as long as they don't get rid of ET, but it has become a destination. They've got so many more hotels there and food options now, and the last trip I took the kids down, we just went to Universal, and that was it.
Yeah, because you went to Halloween Horror Night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought this was very interesting. The statement from Disney was that Universal's playing catch up to Disney World, but that's after Bob Iger said that Disney World only did it to catch up to beat Universal. So which one?
Right.
Which one is it? They're not even comparing notes. But speaking of expansions, we have the Disneyland Forward. Now we're going to talk about what's coming. What we do know is coming to Walt Disney World at some point. We're probably going to hear more about it, I'm thinking at D23. Or if the stock goes really low and they have to put some kind of announcement out. What's behind Big Thunder Mountain. Okay, everybody's talking about what's behind. Well, about a week ago, they had an event with media, certain media, not us, because, we're not trusted media anymore. We used to be.
Yeah.
Don't tell them don't do what they want and you get off that list quickly. They're the largest expansion ever for Magic Kingdom is going to be this What's Beyond Thunder Mountain. Okay. And they're saying, I think whatever the expansion is, it's going to be about the size of Galaxy's Edge. So they're guessing about 14 acres. We know they're filing some permits for this. We know they're filing permits for over at, Disney's Animal Kingdom where they're replacing Dinoland USA.
Yeah.
But so we're going to have that expansion, or that retheme, but this expansion's coming. And there's been all kinds of rumors now about what's going to be putting in there. We're hearing anything from they're doing, what's the Cars ride again?
Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs.
That makes so that is a rumor.
It's possible, but.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's.
And it fits the Thunder Mountain area.
It does, because the backside of Thunder Mountain, if they want to keep the theming, would definitely work with Radiator Springs if you've been on that one at Disneyland. But they have Test Track. It's basically the same attraction. It's basically the exact same thing. And it's big. It's really, really big. It would take up a big chunk of that.
It's really big. So I don't know. I mean, you're taking this. Yeah, you're taking it. That's a huge amount of this area to accommodate that. They're also saying about a Woody's attraction like Toy Story, which doesn't make sense because you have a whole Toy Story land at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Or I mean at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, they were the original plan was that they were going to do replace Country Bear Jamboree. This was a rumor. I think that one actually came from WDW News Today, but they said that they were going to replace Country Bear Jamboree completely and put a Woody's Roundup puppet show type thing, animatronic show, where that was in Frontierland, which made sense, but that was before they built Toy Story Land. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
These are rumors that are being tossed around. I can't talk to the validity of them. The source that they came from does get things right time to time. It's Mickey views. So it's possible. I'm not going to say it's not. I don't think that makes the most sense, but I think it's possible. I honestly think Disney'd be best served doing a Villains Park and spending most of their attention and most of that area on that, because what gets the most reaction out of people when you hear about possible things that can go in there, Villains is like by far the most, people are more excited about that than anything.
Yeah.
I just think another, the Cars, which is like Test Track 2.0, but with cars, I don't know if that we need that over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a Woody's area when you have Toy Story Land is kind of redundant. I just don't see why you would bother. But Villains would be it would be very impressive. I think you get a lot of people coming for that.
Yeah, no, I think Villains, I mean, if you were going to do one thing, I would do Villains.
And I would spend, because this expansion is pretty big, but it's not as big as it sounds. So if you want to really get at something, I would stick with one or two things, and I would go with Villains. But that's just me.
I think it's going to be too much if they have too many themes going on, like, because the Villains, it would be like the opposite of, like, on one side of Thunder Mountain you have Fantasyland, and then you get the other side, you've got the dark place where the villains live. That actually would work out pretty well. I think they'd kind of mirror each other, but but I don't putting Radiator Springs Racers, unless you use that ride system and make it like villain themed somehow. I don't
know. I mean, it fits with the theming of the Big Thunder Mountain.
So 100%. You can you could do any kind of mountain range.
I don't know. I mean, I see the validity. I mean, I see where that would work. I just don't think that's a good idea. I think they're better served if you run it more bang for your buck and you want to kick Epic Universe's butt. I think you're better to go with Villains.
Yeah, I would go
Villains Land, because that's something people have rumored for years and they've wanted very badly. Unless you're going to make a fifth gate that's Villains themed, which I don't think you're going to do.
No, I don't think they really have the room for the infrastructure for it. That's what I've heard. They basically spaced things out so much at Disney World that they really don't have they technically don't have the room for a fifth gate, because they've spaced everything out, the golf courses and the hotels and the shopping district and all that stuff. Yeah, I would go Villains. I'd go all Villains, and I would have, like, you go through the the Briar Patch or something to get into Villains Land. You could do Halloween Town in there. You could do.
I just think, but people judging from what I'm seeing and from the reaction, and because we've covered rumors for a long time.
Yeah.
I just think that would have a much bigger impact than just putting Radiator Springs Racers in there again. Like, I just.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I can see, but I can honestly see where that would fit beyond Thunder Mountain. I just don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. And especially since that area is big, but it's not.
It's not massive. I mean, they still have the streets they have to contend with, the highways they have to contend with, parking.
Okay. For example, they have the same size as the one at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
They did that big expansion. They fit in 2 rides, a couple stores and restaurants. So how are they going to fit all that in there? And you know what I mean? Unless you have to go one way or the other. I don't know if you could do both. Yeah, you're better served for Villains.
The only thing I could think too, well, unless you mash up some rumors and for some reason they decide they want to go do the Wreck-It Ralph, because weren't they going to do a Wreck-It Ralph VR racing ride or something in Tomorrowland? It never happened. Just be like,
they had talked about that. There was a joke they were going to do that. There was a rumor. I mean, and they were going to do something with that again over at Wonders of Life. They're supposed to put all this stuff in the Play Pavilion, and then they canceled that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it would be cool if they had Radiator Springs Racers there. It is a cool attraction, but it's nearly identical to Test Track.
Well, it's not identical, but it's the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, you already have Test Track. Why'd you put that? It's just like Woody's. Like, why would you put a Woody's ride in there when you have Toy Story?
And you have the Tomorrowland Speedway. You know,
Right.
which is racing.
I don't
but
know.
Then they're talking, well, unless they get rid of that. I mean, what if they got rid of Tomorrowland?
Well, that's what people are saying. They might get rid of some things and open up more area to put more of the stuff in. If they have to completely get rid of some things and then replace it with other things. Like, you know, Tom Sawyer Island and stuff, and no one really goes over there. I mean, they could probably take something and fix all that up and redo it. But it'd be cool if you did the villains thing and it kind of hooked into Haunted Mansion back behind there somewhere too. But I don't know. I mean, these are rumors. I mean, ideally, yeah, all of it sounds great. Let's do it all. But I don't know what's going in there. It's just speculation at this point. I do think that they are missing out on a huge opportunity if they don't do villains, because I think that's what people want. And if they don't do it, then I'm expecting a fifth park announcement, because it'd be colossally dumb to not do villains when you've already teased it. And after you did that, most people, what they talked about was the villains part. That's what most of the chatter was about, what most people were excited about. That was the takeaway. So we'll see what happens. But if they're going to do that, it just seems, unless you're replacing other things and filling in like this and that and replacing it, it doesn't make sense to add these in there. But we'll wait and see. If those are the rumors, that's what's going on with that. Speaking of that area, we do know that Tiana's Bayou Adventure's coming soon to Walt Disney World. And ahead of that, we have some new stores that are going to be in there. So they have the Critter Co-op, which was where the Briar Patch store was before. And it's the same area. They just rethemed it.
Yeah, it's like the exact same thing. I mean,
yeah, it's just they took the store there and they had this. And then there's going to be a Tiana's, what was the other one? It was a Tiana's Bayou General store. That's going to be there too. I'm not sure exactly what's up with that, but they have a picture of it. So these two stores are going to be added to the Splash Mountain area.
people are still going to call it Splash Mountain. I mean, I'm sorry. It's still a mountain. Like, I really wish they would have, like, Tiana's Bayou Adventure sounds like just a regular old dark ride. Like, just, you know, Splash Mountain with Tiana and friends. I mean, you know.
Or call it some other kind of mountain or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Sploosh Mountain.
Sploosh Mountain. That sounds wrong. It's Sploosh Mountain.
It's damp mountain.
Speaking of, well, a couple things here. We're going to talk about a couple things. First of all, climbing up things like a mountain. So over at the Kong ride at Universal, apparently there was a kid who climbed up the little mountain thing with the sign, and it's up a little ways. It's not super, super high, but it's up a little ways, and then poses for a picture. And I'm just like, why were the parents letting him climb up on that? Like, he's scaling that mountain. It's not even
social media clout. I mean, that's pretty much out.
What kind of things have you seen parents let their kids do when they're not paying attention at Disney? We had Mackie who kept running into your butt.
Oh my God. Yeah. We had this one kid who, and this is during the pandemic. I had my backpack and the kid was like literally.
You're supposed to stay in the dots, say social distance.
Right. And he was like right underneath because I could feel his head hit my backpack. I'm like, what are you doing, kid? Why are you right up on my butt?
Mackie kept running you in.
His name was Mackie. We know this because his siblings kept calling for him. Mackie, get over here. Mackie, where are you going, Mackie? I'm like, oh my God.
Mackie kept hitting you in the back end. And then and like what other things you see, like you're in the parks and people aren't paying attention. And I get it because, you know, you're on vacation and you're excited too. And you're not always paying attention to your kids, but you really need to. I have seen kids licking windows.
Yep.
I have seen kids licking railings.
Poles.
I've seen kids climbing up the rocks over at places like the queue for the Little Mermaid attraction. Yep. I've seen them climbing up on the rocks there.
Peeing on rocks.
We saw them peeing on stuff before. I've seen them. I know over in the new area of the Toontown area over at Disneyland. They had done some stuff, and there were kids. They had to change some things because kids were climbing up on the rocks and the walls and things there. Like, what kind of stuff have you seen people, do? Like these kids do, and the parents aren't even paying attention.
Well, I mean, and sometimes when the parents are paying attention, it winds up becoming a fist fight. So
sometimes the parents are paying attention, and you're looking at like you're going to do something. They're just looking at you like, what do you want me to do about it? You know?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they don't. I think people, again, I think it goes back to that entitlement in the Disney bubble. When people are at Disney, they don't think they have to behave like human beings anymore. I mean, they're rude to cast members. They're rude to each other. If the kid
falls and gets hurt, they're going to sue, Disney or the cast members or whatever.
Well, that was like that one kid we're trying to get onto Flight of Passage.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes.
And she was.
Well, you weren't getting on Flight of Passage. You were just trying to go to the restaurant.
I was trying to go to the restaurant.
And she was trying to beat you to the line.
She thought I was getting in line, and she was going to beat. So she cut across one of the, the planners or whatever it was there, and she tripped and landed. Like, I mean, I felt bad for her, but I'm also like.
I think she broke her leg or something.
Did she break her leg?
I know it was bad that she wasn't moving. They were getting medics because I think she.
Well, she was trying to go around. I didn't touch her. I swear I didn't touch her. I didn't realize she was trying to go around it, but she was trying to beat me into the line. But the thing is, like, I wasn't even going into the line. I was trying to get around the line so I could go to the restaurant.
And the thing is, that's why I was saying, like, when you go into Rise of the Resistance and stuff, we were last time, they were telling you, people were running ahead, like, you cannot enter to your whole parties with you. And I think the reason they're doing that is because you had these people trying to rush to beat other people and then hold the line for their family, and then there's accidents happening. I know when we were trying to get to the Rise of the Resistance a couple times, we had issues where people would ram you with strollers. Like, our daughter got hurt because we were going to rope drop, and we were walking along and we were trying to go, and this lady had a stroller with a kid, and she jogs past, cuts off my son who stopped short and then knocks his sister down by accident. She broke her phone. She got cut up really, really badly. Like, her legs were all cut up. And I felt horrible because she's crying, and I had to drag her to the rope drop. Not because I was trying to make sure we got to the front rope drop, but if I left her there, she was going to get trampled. Mm-hmm. You cannot stop or they will trample you. And I think that's, part of the issue too. But it's like, geez, people.
Yeah, people are just, it's gotten a lot ruder. I mean, Disney has gotten a lot ruder. And I think it's just because of I honestly think it's related somewhat to the cost. I think because the more people pay, the more they expect they can get away with.
I don't know, but it's like, remember, there's other people there. It's not safe. Just because it's Disney doesn't mean it's, or Universal, it's a theme park, doesn't mean it's safe for your kids to skill on top of the Kong thing. It doesn't mean it's okay for your kids to scale the walls at the Little Mermaid attraction.
No.
If they get hurt, and then they'll sue Disney for it. And it'd be like, but it was your own dang fault because you weren't paying attention and making sure your kids weren't being little craps. Mm-hmm. Like, they were like hanging off the railings upside down, jumping over stuff. They're going to fall and get hurt or hurt somebody else. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? It's Disney's fault. But it really wasn't. It was yours because you weren't paying attention because you're on your phone.
Yep, pretty much. Well, I think that's the difference too. Like, everybody's on their phones now. They used to actually
pay attention.
Pay attention, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move to a little more funny topic, and we're gonna wrap it up with this one, because in honor of the Smellephants on Parade coming to Magic Kingdom at Disney World, where you're gonna have elephants that look like popcorn or things that are going to have sense to them. I saw All Ears did an article, and it's really funny. It's about cringy things you keep smelling at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
So we'll talk about the things they said they smell. And we'll talk about some things that we've smelled. I'm sure you're thinking of things at home that you smelled. So mildewy cooling towels, or just mildewy towels in general. Because it's Florida.
Well, yeah, because especially people they'll go get the towels out of the hotel room or whatever, and sopping wet towels at the pool, and then they'll just leave them there. They just
the towels, or then rain ponchos. They'll put them away wet, and they'll come out all mildewy. Club Cool, I don't know. They're talking about how it seems like it has a unique aroma, and sticky floors.
The sticky floors actually bother me more than the smell. The smell, I think,
smells that bad. I think it's just the floors.
I think it's just the syrups or something that they use. I don't know.
The water by the Festival of the Lion King, because it's like sitting there.
Stagnant, stank.
A little bit. There's like a little
stank Florida water.
Swampy smell. The Florida swampy smell. Talk about Figment's, skunk smell.
Oh, I hate that.
But I hate it too, but it's part of the attraction. The party fogs that you see the fog effects.
Yeah. Yep.
I never really noticed they had a scent.
Yeah, they do.
Apparently they smell. This one I agree. Tomorrowland Speedway. Oh my gosh, it's just like, it stinks. It totally stinks.
I know it does, but it also, for me, because I grew up going to Knoebels Grove, and they had the antique cars that go underneath the one roller coaster. The gas smell, it reminds me of that.
Kind of, it does, yeah.
It feels like an old timey-wimey kind of a...
No, they're going to replace them, I guess, with electric cars soon, so hopefully that smell will go away. But people probably complain they'll start piping it out. But yeah, the Tomorrowland Speedway, it's a little bit, cough-inducing.
I'm actually surprised they haven't replaced the cars yet. That one though, I mean, going back to the rumor about Radiator Springs, I mean, I like the Tomorrowland Speedway because it's a classic opening day attraction. That being said, it's an old attraction. I could absolutely positively see Disney being like, you know what? Instead of replacing all these cars, let's just rip it out and put Radiator Springs there.
See, but I don't know if there's enough room there for that.
I don't know.
There isn't.
You'd have to go back a little bit, I think. But
yeah, you'd have to because there's not enough room there. I don't know much about you can go back because they put Tron.
Oh, Tron there, yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah. Other scents I can think of that are nasty at Disney that aren't included. BO.
Yeah.
People
that
in
one's a big
Florida,
one.
they don't wear deodorant. Now, to be fair, some people can't because you're allergic to it or whatever. But yeah, that can be.
They can't reach your pits.
That that could be a bit much. Have you been in line before and then someone rips one? And I think about every line you get into, someone rips one.
Yeah.
And then you have to walk through that. That's always not fun. Baby dirty diapers, same thing.
Diapers, that's a big one. That's what you said about, kids like peeing on rocks and stuff. And then the dirty diapers are huge because I know, I see people changing their kids on rocks and stuff in the queues all the time. And then they leave the damn diaper there. They don't take the diaper. They don't clean the diaper up.
Or the garbage cans get overflowing and
Yep.
that's always smell pleasant.
Yep.
Or someone throws up. That's not pleasant.
They used to, that goes along with like when you're in elementary school and somebody throws up and they bring the sawdust in, the janitor with the sawdust to clean it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other scents. I mean, you have good scents, of course, like they pump out the cookie scent on Main Street and stuff like that. And they have different scents associated with attractions that they'll pump out nice smelling things. But then you're like, there's like a plethora of not so nice smelling things.
It's a plethora of stank at Disney. Maybe that's the thought process, but behind the smell offense, because that's like the kids' play area, and be like, okay, well, since it really stinks of diapers and pee over here, let's
put some nice smelling things, like popcorn and cookies.
giant they're basically giant elephant air fresheners. That's what they are.
So what are some of the things that you've smelled?
Oh God, you
think about that one. Anyway, let's wrap this up for this week.
Let's wrap it up. Go out to piratesandprincesses.net for more objective Disney news. Follow on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it now, Facebook, and I guess we'll talk to you later.
Bye. Thanks again for listening. More news and videos are available on our website at www.piratesandprincesses.net. Our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. If you like the show, please consider subscribing and leaving us a positive review on iTunes and other podcast platforms. This podcast is a production of Clownfish Studios LLC and Web Reef Media, and we'll see you next time.